Well, it could be a pivotal moment today as voters in 5 eastern states make their choices in their primary races to become their party's nominee for the White House. At this time back in 2012, Mitt Romney was already the presumptive nominee against President Barack Obama. But how does this cycle stack up to 2008, where we had no incumbent in an open seat election? Here to help us look back is Larry Sabato, the director of the University of Virginia Center for Politics. And there he is at the actual desks that he teaches the students from. Good morning to you, Larry.
Good morning, Steve.
Okay, as we look back on the Democrat side, we just mentioned the Republicans, it was pretty close at this stage. April 26, 2008, Obama had 1,700. Hillary Clinton had almost 1,600. What was going on?
What was going on was a titanic battle between old and new.
Right.
And new won, barely. But I'll tell you what was most significant that applies to this year. Once Obama got a lead of about 100 delegates, which doesn't sound like much, over Hillary Clinton, he kept it for months. It never really varied all that much, 20 here, 30 there, but he kept the lead all the way through the end of the primaries in early June in California and other places, and became the nominee.
Sure.
And that probably is what's going to happen this year.
You could be right. Meanwhile, you know, there's this never Trump movement going on. But when you look back, Larry, you remember when there was an anybody but Jimmy Carter movement going on. How did that work out?
Yes, well, it failed. It was called ABC, Anybody But Carter. And, Steve, this really shocks people to hear it, but back in that time, in the spring of 1976, Jimmy Carter was viewed as too conservative, as too Southern for the Democratic Party. And the liberals in the party, including people like Ted Kennedy, Governor Jerry Brown, whatever happened to that guy? Governor Jerry Brown ran for president against Carter. Oh, he's still in office in California. I'm sorry. Senator Frank Church of Idaho, a whole bunch of liberal Democrats. Yes, got together and said, we need to stop Carter. Well, they tried, but it failed miserably, and Carter won handily at the convention.
There is some suggestion I saw on some of the political pages this morning that apparently the Cruz camp may be vetting Carly Fiorina to join him as vice president were he nominated. A lot of people forget at the conventions that you went to back in 1976 when you were 10 years old, Larry, Ronald Reagan actually nominated a vice president who was, for all intents and purposes, a lefty, and that didn't help him.
Yes, and by the way, only adults could be admitted to those conventions. They were X-rated, and I was well above 10 years old, Steve.
I understand.
But yes, Reagan chose Senator Richard Schweiker, who was a liberal Republican from Pennsylvania. Why did he choose him? He wanted to broaden his base, but he mainly wanted to grab these uncommitted Pennsylvania delegates. Gee, doesn't that sound familiar?
Sure
What's
does.
going on today? So the more things changed, the more they remain the same. It didn't work, and in fact, some conservatives were upset with Reagan for picking Schweiker.
It backfired. All right. Professor, thanks for the lesson today.
I'm delighted to do it. It's free. It's absolutely free. No bill will be coming, Steve.
That's what they say. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Larry.